Okay. Where we left is that we saw this intercompany accounts in GL perspectives, and from there we had issue in account inspector and account monitor. So that is where we left. So probably I'll start from account inspector. So since this data has refreshed, so what I have done is that I have created a new set of setups, and yeah, so we will see with that new setups. So I'll navigate to general ledger. So we have this dashboard. So under this dashboard, basically we have several options to inquire. So basically, if I this option, that is account inspector and account monitor. So these two options are used to check the balances. So let's say I have 10 different accounts. So out of this, so I have two accounts, that is let's say rent account and maintenance account. So these are my critical accounts. So which I wanted to make track of my what do you call, the actual expenses that is happening in the business. So for this purpose, we have multiple options. So one is that running the trial balance. So if I run this trial balance with PTD, so I will have this balances with me, but that is not real time. So what will happen is that, and also it is a repetitive job. So I will have to do it again and again with the set of parameters. So instead, what I can do is that I can have this option. So here we have two options. So one is account inspector and the another one is account monitor. So what is the difference between both is that basically account inspector is something that we will have to query it every time. But this is based on the API call wherein it will pull the data and it will give us on the fly with the help of drag and drop. So probably first we will see the account inspector, and then probably we will see the account monitor. Okay. So the navigation is that on the right hand side we can see there are a few options: journal, period, close, and the other things. So we will have to navigate to the inquiry and reporting. Okay. So this is where basically we will analyze our balances. So when usually we will analyze our balances that when we have reconciliation issues. So let's say the balance is not matching with my subledger, that is AP. Let's say the rent account is not matching. My APTB is different from my GL trial balance. So in this case, I will need to do a detailed analysis on this particular one account. So for this purpose, what I will do is that I'll come to this particular page called inquire and analyze balance. So this is where we will inspect our accounts. Okay. So here, what I will do is that I will give a certain list of parameters. So instead of giving parameters here, so what I will do is that I'll just drag and drop this particular value here. So let's say I wanted to drag this particular value. So what I can do is that either if I place it here, it will become as a column. But if I place it here, it will become as a row. So based on the requirement, basically I can differentiate the values. Okay. So now we can see that we have the list of values. So the values that we have added here is only one. So we will have only one value under this particular thing. Let's say I have 10 different accounts. I mean 10 different company values. So I will have 10 different till here. So whatever the list I have, based on that we will have. So now if I want to understand for this particular one company, that is 01. So what are the account codes that has affected, it can be seen through this option. So here we can see that most we did not do the actual transaction for most of the accounts. So that is why it is null. But very few transactions that we have made, that is 11200, the cash account and the other accounts. So for those things we will have the data. Okay. So now I found out the balance for this particular month. That is, let's say I want to understand for the March month. So I got the data and also I got the company. I mean, it is 01. So now if I want to know what is the journal entry or what are the list of entries that has been created and accumulated as 1 lakh. So I can just click here in the hyperlink. So this will take me to the particular journal entry. So basically this will give me a drill down analysis in terms of filtering and understanding the actual entries that is being booked in the system. Okay, so I have two things here. So now let me click on this period activity. Okay, so if I click this period activity, so this is for one particular journal. So we can see that journal batch name is new, and we have only one line. And so these are the basic inputs that we will get from here. And with this, basically, we can query down or we can drill down to the actual journal entries. Okay. So if I click this option, so this will take me to the journal entry. So from there, I can verify. So this is kind of a test entry where this is for the testing purpose. So we have only two lines. So one is that cash to the expense account, accrued expense. But whereas in real time, it is not that only two lines. It will be at least 50 to 60 lines. So with this help, that is with the line number, if we drill down with the line number, we will be able to track down the exact difference and we'll be able to identify the issue. Okay. So this is the advantage of using our account inspector. So basically we will have the multiple levels of drill down.
It is just like reconciliation.
Yeah, it's not just like reconciliation, it is used for reconciliation actually. So this is like verifying our balances at nth level. So till what level we wanted to have, till journal entry, we can have this drill down options.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what. So now, if you want to filter it with any particular account code combination, so that is also possible. So similarly, we can give any parameter. So these are the parameters that we can have. So the page level dimension is nothing but what are the parameters that I can use it to derive my account balances or the inquiry balances option. Okay. So these are the options that I can use. So basically these are nothing but my segments. So the feature one, feature two, project, intercompany, all these things are my segments basically. So it will come along with my account and company segment. So apart from that, I will have the balance amount. That is whether I wanted to have the period activity or I wanted to have only the debit part of it or I want to have only the credit part of it. So accordingly, I can select values here. And let's say I have a foreign currency transaction also involved in it. So in this case, I'll run revaluation and the other thing. So we will see revaluation in the coming this thing. But for now, it is just to identify the transaction for a particular currency, if at all there is a requirement. So that is also possible using this option. So we will just select the currency and we will say refresh. So the balances will be refreshed. Okay. So similarly, we have the base amount. So these are the options that we have to inquire our balances for any given account. Any doubt or we can move on?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so the next option that we have is that account monitor. So what is basically account monitor is that it will give a track of a particular account. So the difference between account inspector and account monitor is that account inspector is something like an refreshing page, wherein if I give any set of parameter, it is going to give me this balances. So instead of running the trial balance with the specific parameter, I'll just come here as a shortcut and I will utilize that. But here in account monitor, this is kind of an call wherein system will call when there is a new transaction added in the system and it will give us the update. So I'll just create one. So the basic configuration for this is to create a new account group. So account group is nothing but the list of accounts that we wanted to see in our account monitor or the account dashboard, we can say. Okay, so I have given a naming convention for this, and we can see this is Metro expenses. So this is based on the login it has been picked up, and here we have different options. So whether I wanted to display this particular parameter that I'm giving in for account monitor or allocation, or whether I want to see only for the expenses, I can select accordingly. So for now, what I will do is that I'll click account monitor because I want to see the balances or the change in balance in my account monitor. Okay. So let's say I have 10 different account monitor that has been created in the system. So if I want to make anything default, any particular account group as a default, so that when I log in or when I navigate to the account dashboard, so it will automatically show this particular account group. So I can track it from there. So that is the purpose. But anyway, we can change it from there. So we have multiple options. So wherein we can pick our expense group. Okay. So for now, I'm not enabling this as default. So I'll select it from there. Okay. And then we have a time option. So time option is nothing but how frequently or based on what do we want to actually derive these accounts. So I wanted to use accounting period as a base. Okay. Which means my April, May, June, July. So this is my accounting period. So this will be considered for this refresh. Okay. And then we have comparison. So comparison is used for identify the change in values. So let's say I give here YTD. So if I give prior year PTD or prior year YTD, so what will happen is that it will understand the last year's balance and current year balance as on date, but I don't want to take yearly balances. So instead, what I will do is that I'll take prior year PTD, which means if I'm in the month of, let's say May month, so system will validate for the month of March, and it will tell us whether there is a change. And if there is a change, it will give the amount, and also it will give us the percentage, how much percentage it has been changed. So this way, I'll be able to identify and track my expenses very much in a detailed manner. So that is the main purpose of having this account group. So this will keep updating whenever we entered any transactions. Okay. So let me choose prior year PTD, and here we have access. So access is something that whether I wanted to have it only for myself or I wanted to have it for everyone. Let's say I have a team wherein 10 people are there. So I wanted to share it with the team. So I can have it. So accordingly, I will pick the option. So if I say private, which means only I will be able to see this particular account group or I will be monitoring this particular account group. But if I say public, it will be it can be seen by everyone in the department, so they can see and they can probably, if they want to understand the financial statement or the standpoint, so they can check there. Okay. And another point that we have is that shared. So shared is inside the group. So the difference between public and shared is that shared is inside a particular group, but whereas public is seen by everyone. And private is something only to this user called Metro Express. Okay. So for now, I'm just giving this as private. Okay. And then I'm giving this as all accounts. Yeah, so this is our ledger, Metro Express PL. So the main reason how we are getting this particular ledger is that based on our roles and this thing. Because in roles I have given this particular ledger. If you remember in our last class also, we gave this data access security profile. So based on that, system will pick the ledger name. Okay. So from this ledger, system will identify that what are the accounts that is being used under this particular combination. So that is we have the chart of account. So under this chart of account, we have only 01. Okay. So, but for now, I'm choosing all company, all department, all accounts. So if I want to track all the accounts, simply I can give all accounts. But let's say I wanted to give any particular sequence. Let's say I have account from starting from 1 to 50. So I don't want to track my expense, I mean my asset accounts and my revenue accounts. So in this case, what I will do is that I'll create another line stating that, so I'll give here name as an expense account, and I will give set of series that is from and to, and I'll give what do you call the revenue account or whatever different accounts that I want to track, I will add in the second line. So accordingly, based on the requirement, I can keep adding the this thing. So we don't have any limitations there. Okay, so then we have a change. So how do we want to understand our change? So whether we wanted to say that if it is not equal, I wanted to see this, or if it is equal, I want to see this, or whether I want to see this particular record always. So we have basically multiple parameters are the things to be selected. So based on the requirement, we can select whether I wanted to see when it is decreasing or increasing or equal to or not equal to, anything we can give. So I'm selecting always display. Okay, so I've said this. Okay, so now here we can see that it says that name is 12, but this is not the one which we created. So we created with the name expense all. So what we will do is that we will click view. Under view we have account group. So under account group here we can see that we have two things. So one is test and the another one is HW expense all. So the one now we created is HW expenses all. Okay, so I'll click this one. So the reason why our system was showing 12 is that it was marked as a default. Okay, yeah, so these are the values. Okay, so the period which we are looking at is that January 2020. Okay, so we don't have any change here. So if I want to change the period and check for the different period, so let's say I want to see for March. So I'll select the March. Okay, so here the balances will be updated. So I'll say all account values. Okay. So these are the basic things that is for the March period. So these are the balances that we have. And since the earlier period we did not have any transaction. Okay. So here we are seeing the March twice. The reason being is that this is defined as an March period and adjustment period. So adjustment period is our 31st March 2021, and our March period is nothing but 1st March to this one 30th March. Okay. So we don't have any transaction there. So all the transaction that we made is on the 31st of March. So that is why it is showing here the values, but March period we don't have any transaction. And system has calculated and it is saying that there is a change and this is the change in value. Okay. So this will basically accumulate and it will tell us whether we have any differences. So if at all there is any differences, so that is when we will have the reconciliation issues and these things. So we will again drill down to the journal level. So the same process. Basically, we can just extend this, or this is kind of an hyperlink wherein we can identify. Okay. So for this particular future segment 00, so I have one transaction. So if I want to probably check this, so again, this will take me to the journal page. So wherein I can drill down. So the same page. Okay. Yeah. So this is about account monitor. Any doubt in this?
Sir, what is the difference between Account monitor and account
Yeah, account
inspector.
inspector. Yeah. So account inspector will basically give both give us the same result in the sense this will give me the balance for particular account, and which means account monitor and account inspector is going to give me the balances of particular account. But the difference is that difference is that basically, so I have account inspector one side where I can drag and drop certain fields and derive this balances based on the combination. But here, give me a minute. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so the difference between account inspector and account monitor is that basically both are going to give me the balances of particular account. Okay, so here account monitor will be appeared in our dashboard first thing. So if at all I have selected this as an default option, but whereas in case of account inspector, it is not going to display in my dashboard, but I will have to navigate to certain page, the account inquiry balances, and from there I will have to give the parameter and then pick up from there. Okay. And another thing is that here we don't have any kind of drag and drop option in account monitor. But whereas there in account inspector, we have drag and drop option, whereas based on the multiple parameters, I can pick in and derive those things. And drill down option, if you see, both we will have the same option. That is, if I want to drill down till my journal entry or my particular segment, I'll be able to do it. So I can do it in the account inspector using the drag and drop option. And here, if you see, we have this option called hyperlink. So let's say I have multiple accounts involved in it. So if I want to click or understand only one particular account, I'll be able to do it. So we selected 11200. Okay. But whereas there, if I want to select it, I can see by clicking or navigating to the certain page. But here it is not the case. But end result is same. But the option given is different. That is the difference between both.
When we drill down to journal entry,
Yeah.
are we able to edit it
No, it will not.
there
We
only,
will.
or
No, we will not be able to edit it because that functionality will not change. So once this entry has been posted, so we'll not be able to change anything. So only option that we will have to do is that uh, passing the adjustment entry to knock off whatever the edit or edit option that we are intended to do. Okay, so that functionality will not change. So if I want to, let's say, this balance should be 1000, but I have this as probably let's say 800. So what I will have to do is that to increase this to another 200, I will have to create new journal entry. But with this option, I'll not be able to edit anything. But if this particular entry is just entered and let's say it did not post or it did not save. So in this case, I can change the values and I can save it. So that is possible. But the posted entries will not be able to do any changes.
okay, like if we find any mistake, like 1,000 rupees, if we enter wrongly by 800,
Okay.
can we? Is it possible to open new window, same this one, and can we change the journal there?
You wanted to open a new window and you wanted to change the values there.
Yeah. Instead of passing a separate journal, we have to correct the same.
That's what I'm saying. So if so, there are different status for a journal. So if this journal is in entered status, I can change. I can very well change it. And if this is in the saved status, even then I can say, change or make the changes. But if this journal is in posted status, I cannot make any changes to it.
Okay, if it is already posted, it is not possible to change.
Yes, correct.
Then only we have to pass a extra journal
Yes,
to correct it.
Yes, correct. We will have to pass the adjustment JVs.
Okay,
Yeah. Anything else?
nothing.
Okay. So the next part that we will see is that revaluation. Okay. So before that, I'll just take a moment to explain what is a revaluation and why do we do it. So, there are three things when we speak about currency. So we have conversion, and then we have translation, and then we have revaluation. Okay. So each one will have its own functionality to act. So here, conversion. So conversion is nothing but converting the balances. So let's take an example that we have the invoice and we have payments. So invoice is booked on, let's say, 10th of April, and payment due date is, let's say, from this 10th of April, it is 30 days. So which means it is going to get matured on 10th of May. Okay. So now the currency rate on 10th of April, let's say USD to INR. So in this case, let's say its currency value is 75. 75 is on 10th of April. So 78 is on May month. Okay. So this is the currency value. So now the date I booked invoice is, let's say, with the amount 10,000 rupees. Okay. So payment has not made it. So payment should have been made on 10th of May. And also here in between 10th of April to 10th of May, if you see here, so we have the period closure activities also involved, because the period closure is nothing but on the end of every month. So basically we will check all the valid transactions and we will process it. If there is any transaction that has failed for any exceptional reason, so we will correct it and we will process it. So as a part of it, so we will have to make sure that all the transaction that we are accounting, so this is on par with our financial compliance requirements. Okay. So here, actual thing what it should have been done is that 10,000 rupees payment also. But instead, what has happened is that payment did not receive. So what will happen is that I will have to calculate my currency gain or loss, because on let's say 10th of April, but now I'm at probably 25th of May. So now the currency balance has increased. So which means this is a gain for the company. So I will have to report this gain in a separate account. So how I will basically do this is that I will run a process called revaluation. So this revaluation, what it will do is that it will basically revalue the particular transaction and our particular account, and it will give us this is the gain for the business or the company, or this is a loss for the company. So based on this, we can understand that this is a gain or this is a loss for the company. So basic understanding for revaluation is nothing but it will revalue the currency value on the given date. Let's say I wanted to revalue at on 30th of April. So I will run this particular program on 30th of April. So system will understand between different currency rates. So how system will identify that this is the rate on this particular day is that using the daily rates. So we have this daily rates. So this daily rates is just like a master. So it will have USD to INR. So between this, what is the exact value? It will tell us. So it will say, let's say 75 on, let's say on 10th of April, and 78 on 30th of April. So it will have the currency rates for each day. So if I don't have this rates defined, so system will give me a validation error stating that this rates are not defined for this particular period. So I will correct the necessary details, and again I will validate the invoice, and I will process my invoice. I'll validate my invoice. Okay. So now, to understand this particular entry, so how it is being calculated as an gain or loss, it is based on the currency rate that we are defining it here in the daily rates. Okay. So based on this, it will calculate the values. So this values, it will be calculated for our balance sheet accounts, that is asset and liabilities. Okay. And then we have another process called translation. So using the same transaction, what this translation will do is that it will translate the balances. It is for the entire balances. It will translate, and it will tell us whether this is a profit to the company, or this is a loss to the company. So the difference between revaluation and translation is that basically it is going to only translate it, but whereas in case of revaluation, if you see, it is going to revalue the actual currency. It is going to report us whether this is a profit to the company or this is a loss to the company, with the help of a new journal entry. But whereas in translation, it is not going to create any new journal entry. Instead, it is going to just translate the balances, where we have an option to see the translated status. So we will just see there whether this is then translated or not. The reason why we have this translation process is that when we speak about the consolidation and the other process, the financial consolidation, so wherein I have 10 different businesses. So I wanted to see the consolidated balances. So for those cases, what will happen is that I will have to give the balance sheet or the profit and loss on the basis of the consolidation. So here in this consolidation process, translation becomes my what do you call, prerequisite option to be completed. So for this purpose, what I will do is that as a part of month end process, I will run this translation and revaluation, provided I have this different currencies or the business involved in it. Okay. So, to put it in basic terms, conversion is nothing but the difference between the actual transaction. So, this we can say the invoice that we are trying to make, or the journal entry that we are trying to make, is what conversion. On this particular date, what is the rate? So, that is what we are calling as conversion. Okay. So today, if you see, it is 75 rupees. So this is my conversion. So what is revaluation? So revaluation is nothing but revaluing on the particular date, let's say month end. So on 30th of April, what is my currency rate, and what is my gain or what is my loss? Understanding this particular part is called revaluation. Okay. And this is only for the balance sheet accounts. And then we have the translation. So translation is nothing but we are translating the entire balances to our functional currency. Okay. So that is the difference between all these three. Yeah. Any doubt in this?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So what we will do is that we will check our daily rates. We attached corporate. So let's see whether we have the currencies involved in it. Okay, so this is our rate, that is corporate rate. So let's check whether we have balances for this particular day. Okay, let's try to do transaction in the month of March. Okay, I think this is not defined. So what we will do is that we will add a few values to it. So to add any the rates, I will have to use this spreadsheet. So I don't have any manual option wherein I can just type in here and save this record. So that is not possible in this particular application for currency rate addition. So I'll click create in spreadsheet. So this will download a spreadsheet. So wherein I can add the values there and I can load it back into the application. Okay, so the moment the Excel sheet is downloaded, so it will ask for the login. So after we give our login, basically it will allow us to enter the data.
Sir, how long will you take the class?
Uh, Maybe if you have something, probably we can stop and we can start tomorrow. You can tell me.
Not like that. I was
No.
thinking like if it is 1 hour, it's okay. 1.5 hours is too much for.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you can tell me when to stop, so we can stop. No issue.
8 to 9 is okay, no?
Yeah, yeah, fine. Then what we will do is that we
Hmm.
will see how to load the this one. What is that? The daily rates, and
Oh.
then we will start tomorrow.
Sir, is it possible morning time 8:30 to 9:30?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. From tomorrow we can do from 8:30 to 9:30 morning.
Okay, yeah, fine, fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we have logged in successfully. So we can see here that the worksheet has been loaded. So we wanted to select from currency and to currency. So I'm selecting from currency as USD, and I'll say to currency as okay, I'll have to select this. Okay, I selected this and I'm selecting corporate rate. And let me say from first April to let's say 31st of May month. Okay, so I'm just giving a simple record. So let me say submit. Okay, so now we can see that it says that number of records successfully inserted is one. So which means whatever row that we gave, so this has been inserted. So we can see the status also. So what we will do is that we will navigate back to the application, and we will check whether the rate has been updated. We will query for the same date. Okay, I gave 1st April. Okay, so this is my currency rate. So the reason we are seeing multiple records is that I have given from 1st of April to 7th of April. So that's why if you see here, so we have 7 records. So for all 7 days, we have this. But in Excel sheet, if you see, we gave only one line. That is from so-and-so date to so-and-so date we have given. So this will be applicable when we have the standard rate that is being followed by the country. But if we have an fluctuation rates that is used by the business, so for those cases, we will have to give it manually for each date. So let's say from 1st of April on the sheet, in the sheet, if I want to give 1st April one date and 2nd April another date, I will have to add multiple lines there. So based on the requirement, we will have to give it. So this is by each currency. So let's say I have 10 different currencies that is being involved. So I will have to give 10 different mappings and for each date. So that is the challenge there. But since we have the Excel based option, so that will a bit of easing work for us. Okay. So now we have added a value. Okay. We will see, right, till 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. So what we will do is that we will try to create one foreign currency transaction, and we will see what exactly is conversion. Okay. So I'll navigate to journals. I'll say create journals. Okay. So I'm changing this date to 1st of April. The reason why I think the period is not open. Okay, let me open the period first. Yeah, so April period has been opened. So now we will go back to journal entry, and we will create one journal entry with conversion. Okay, so now we can see that system automatically picked April 21 because it is a rule that system always pick the latest available open period. So from here, if I want to change to different month, I can change it, provided that particular period is open. Okay, so let's say I don't want to have it on 30th of April. Instead, I will place it for 1st of April. I will say adjustment. And now here, if you see, so we are not seeing the corporate because what we gave is corporate. So for that corporate, we define that it is the rate is 120 rupees. But here we are seeing user. The reason being is that we did not change our currency. So the moment we change this to USD, automatically the rates will change based on our conversion rule. So the rule that we used is that corporate. So let's say I have two different rates that has been defined. So for this is for one particular lecture. So what I will do is that I'll select from the list. So probably if I want to use the spot instead of using the corporate, I'll use the spot and I'll give the rates accordingly. But I don't want to use spot at this point. So I'm using the corporate rate which we used. So now we can see the value that is 120 rupees. Okay. So the inverse conversion is nothing but from what you call the Mauritius to USD. So that is the meaning. Okay. So let me. So this is what about conversion. So basically, on the fly, system will convert this balances from one currency to the another currency. So this is what we are calling as an conversion process. Okay. So yeah, basically this is what I was saying that conversion is nothing but a process of making uh, the currency rate differentiation on the fly. So this particular transaction which we are making is making the differences on the fly based on the currency selection that we have made. So this process is called conversion. Okay. So I'll just create one journal entry with USD currency. Okay, so let me say 23,000. Okay, so let me pick the accrued expenses. Mm, okay, expenses. Okay, accrued expenses. Okay, so now if we post this particular entry, we should get a message without any issue that has been processed. Yeah, it has been processed. Yeah, so basically converting the balances from entered currency to our functional currency is what called as the conversion. So here we can see that this is the entered currency, that is we used USD, but the business that we are having is on Mauritius. So that is MUR. So this is our functional currency, and foreign currency that we made is that, let's say I purchase something. So I will make payment in USD. So I'm making payment in USD, that is 23,000, and the payment that I'm making in my Mauritius currency is that it's 27 lakh 60,000. Okay, so system will basically convert it on the fly. So this process we are calling it as conversion. Okay. Yeah, so in currency we have another two parts, that is revaluation and translation. So yeah, I think it's almost 9. So probably we will start the conversion and translation tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow 8:30 we will start it. Right? So you want to have it by morning and evening, or you want to have morning?
Only morning.
Okay, fine. So we will have 8:30. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.